Every time period has had the one thing that everyone was afraid of more than anything else. In the 20th century it was nuclear war, but during the late medieval period it was the Mongols. And comparing the Mongols to nuclear detonation isn't unreasonable. Take the Battle of Mohi in 1241. After decimating the Hungarian royal army in this battle, they could run rampant through most of Hungary without any serious opposition. They took the town of Prest and burnt it to the ground. They attacked Esztergom and slaughtered most of its population. Some of the survivors there managed to hold up in the citadel and hold out against attacks. But this only served to stop the Mongols from getting as much loot as they might have gotten otherwise. The Mongols occupied the Great Hungarian Plains, the slopes of the northern Carpathian Mountains, and Transylvania. If anyone tried to resist, they were killed. The Mongols forced those who surrendered into servitude. The Mongols invaded Hungary, wiping out 25% of the country's population and destroying half of all its habitable places. The Mongols rampaged through the country, destroying cities and massacring the populace. King Bela IV of Hungary was so desperate he ran to his arch-enemy, Duke Frederick, and begged him to save him. Duke Frederick arrested him and forced him to pay enormous amounts of gold and cede Free County. Surviving supporters of the royal family engaged in guerrilla tactics to fight the Mongols, but these led to massacres by the Mongol general Subutai. The massacres were enough to scare them from using guerrilla tactics against the Mongols. In order to escape the Mongols, some people fled to swamps or high mountain areas where they hoped the Mongols wouldn't be willing to go because of the difficult terrain. The Mongols stole the Hungarian royal seal and used it to give out fake orders that tricked some Hungarians. The devastation and torment inflicted by the Mongols on Hungary sent a shockwave of fear throughout the rest of Europe. Yet this invasion pales in comparison to the brutality and hellishness of another. In the early 13th century, the Khwarezmian Empire found 500 Mongols knocking on their front door. They had been sent by Genghis Khan. Attracting the ill will of Genghis Khan was something any sane person would be afraid of. But luckily for them, he was only interested in trading and not war. However, a governor for the Khwarezmian Empire accused Genghis Khan of spying and had the 500 Mongols arrested. But Genghis was only interested in trading and not war, so he sent 3 ambassadors to talk things out. The Shah had all the ambassadors' heads shaved, then beheaded one of them and sent his head to Genghis Khan. This meant war. The Khwarezmian Empire was by no means weak. By anyone's standards at the time, they were a powerful and formidable empire. This may have been the reason they were so unafraid of angering the Mongols. But this was by no exaggeration the worst and last mistake in the empire's history. Genghis Khan invaded with 100,000 men and committed one of the worst genocides in human history. The Khwarezmian army was no match for the Mongols, and so Genghis took revenge on the empire. In Bukhara, he massacred the population and then gathered all of the survivors into a large mosque. There he told them that he had been sent by God to punish them. Once he found the governor who had initially accused him of spying, and in a way caused all this, he poured molten silver into his eyes and ears. In Samarkand, the empire's capital, the Mongols used psychological tactics to cause divisions within the empire. Mongol spies reported that the Shah was fighting his own mother. Genghis then told the Shah's mother that she should join him and fight together against her treacherous son. Genghis then placed fake letters on deserters, saying that the Sultan's mother and some of her generals had accepted the offer and allied with the Mongols. Now the Shah believed he was being attacked by both the most powerful man in the world and his own mother. The fortifications were better in Samarkand than in Bukhara, and the garrison was larger. While besieging it, they used prisoners as body shields. on the third day of the siege, the Samarkand forces launched a counterattack. The Mongols pretended to flee and drew half of their forces out of the garrison before slaughtering them in open combat. Not long later, the city fell. The Shah had fled west to a small island in the Caspian Sea. In 1220, he died due to illness. Most scholars believe it was pneumonia, but some say it was the sudden shock of losing his empire to Genghis Khan. That Genghis Khan literally scared him to death. In the city of Urgench, each Mongol warrior was tasked with killing 24 people each. While nobody knows exactly how many people they killed here, it was most likely one of the worst genocides in human history. Genghis Khan really was just interested in trading with them. When he sent the caravan, he was already winning a war against the Jin dynasty, so there was little incentive for him to go to war with the Khwarezmian Empire. To think they could have avoided all of this if they had just traded with the man. The Mongols spread fear for their barbaric nature. They would torture their enemies, using painful methods like boiling them alive. The way they executed nobles was especially terrifying, because Mongols believed it was a crime to spill noble blood. They thought of a way of killing them without spilling a drop of blood. They would lie them on the ground and then place a wooden platform on top of them. Then they would enjoy a banquet on top of the platform and crush them to death. Fear of the Mongols caused many people to surrender without fighting. Fear made the Mongols powerful. Part of the reason the Mongols were so deadly was their exceptional leadership. Genghis Khan created a meritocracy where the strongest and most talented rose to the top and managed to unify the fighting Mongol tribes under his rule. His best general was Subutai. Subutai was Genghis Khan's best strategist and a military genius few could compete with. He operated more than 20 campaigns, conquered 32 nations, and won 65 pitched battles. He had conquered more territory than any commander before him. Subutai managed to defeat the armies of both Hungary and Poland within only 2 days of each other. It's unbelievable, but Subutai would even be able to command multiple armies over 500 kilometers apart. If you want to learn about how Genghis Khan rose to power, then check out the video to the right.